Documentary was an animal rights documentary, and that really made me change to want to go vegan. But as soon as I started to research veganism, like many other people, and probably like some of you, I had this assumption from what I'd been taught in society and what regular people think, that there was something missing in veganism, there was something you had to replace, there was some kind of supplementation or whatever. So I started to research it, and I came across a video called The Protein Myth. And The Protein Myth is a video in which a guy called Tim Van Orden, who was a Masters champion runner, a really top level athlete in the US, talked about how he ate a diet of fruits and vegetables, and yet he was putting on all this muscle and he was performing amazingly well. And it just clicked for me when he said that. So many things fell into place, because I was so confused about why human beings live such a complex life. Why do we have to cook things and farm things and have all these complex processes and wear clothes? It didn't make sense that we didn't seem to fit into the world the way that other animals do. But when I found out this idea that we could maybe live on fruits and vegetables, it all made sense to me. It all made sense that human beings once lived in a Garden of Eden. And it's really there in the front page of the old mythologies and the Bible and stuff like that we ate fruit, that we lived in nature, that we lived naked, that we lived under the sunlight in the tropics. And I started to embrace that idea. I started to go towards that idea and experiment with raw food, and experiment with what's called the 80-10-10 diet. And I had these amazing changes and experiences in the way I felt. It was the biggest change that a diet had ever made. And yet it was so natural, the idea of eating fruit, and how good you could feel if you gave your body the correct fruit fuel. And that's really what it's all about. It's about treating the body as another system, just like a car or anything else. And if you put in the best fuel, you get the best performance. And so I went towards that. I started to travel, to meet other people, to go to other events, to learn more, because I couldn't find other people and I was struggling to learn more. And I really wanted to keep on following it because it felt so right to me. And so I went to these events, and I would meet these incredible people. I'd meet people that had been eating like a raw food lifestyle or a vegan lifestyle for 20 years and 30 years. And they'd had these amazing, they were just in amazing condition. People that were in their 70s that had been doing this so long, and they had great physiques and energy, and they had enthusiasm for life, and they didn't take any medication or anything. It was just so different to what we generally see in society and what we think of people aging. So I continued to be inspired, and it's not been easy, of course. It's a difficult thing to change your diet, and the people around you react funny. I'm sure some of you have had these type of experiences. But I met a teacher called Dr. Douglas Graham, and he wrote a book called the 80-10-10 Diet, which I think if you're interested in eating more fruit and learning about that and learning about raw food, that's a great book to start. And we decided to set up this event, and he lives in the UK even though he's from America originally. And we ended up setting this event, and a lot of people have started to come along, and we've been teaching people and showing people the benefits of this lifestyle and just having a great time. So that's what I'm here to talk about a little bit. If you want some more information about it, we've got an email list that you can sign up for. But what I want to go into is the law that I'm really thinking about is this idea that if you fall in line with nature's design, eat fruit from the vine and feel divine. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about going back to being more in line with nature. Human beings are primates. We're tropical primates. We're most similar to other frugivorous primates like bonobos, chimpanzees, orangutans, and other animals like that. We're not exactly the same, but we're most similar to these creatures. They have a high intellect like ourselves. They have the same kind of teeth. They have colour vision. They have grasping hands. We have a real connection with that. We are actually seed spreaders. This is what our job is on Earth, or at one time it was. We eat food and the seeds pass through our body, and we carry those seeds for the trees. We have a connection. We have a symbiotic relationship with the trees, with the forest, and we would have been part of that. There's an author called Tony Wright that really believes that human beings once lived in this kind of almost almost some kind of spiritual state of connection with the forest, with nature. The trees were feeding us, and we were passing on the seeds of the trees. But everything starts to make a lot more sense when we think of ourselves as a primate, when we think of ourselves not as some kind of unusual, different thing on the planet, but as another ape, as a frugivorous animal. The fact that we go out and forage, we don't hunt, we're not natural hunters, we don't want to kill, we're social creatures. We love trees and being around trees, and children naturally climb trees. We naturally pick food and we naturally go towards things that look colourful and delicious, and we like sweet food. And these things and many other things show, or at least point towards our background. But we can go into the science of it as well. We can look at the scientific study by Johns Hopkins University years ago, where they analysed the teeth of various primates before us, and they found that they were all fruit eaters. So I'm just trying to encourage people really to embrace this idea and live this idea and go towards health in whatever way you can. Doug Graham has a phrase where he says, go to health. Move towards it, and you'll always get something back. It's not a restriction to give things up, to move towards a more healthier lifestyle. It's not a restriction. It's not going to be boring. You're going to find that your life will change in interesting ways, and you'll meet some very cool people. And that's really all I've got to say. So if anyone would like to ask any questions, I'm happy to, or if we want to have a discussion, I'd be quite happy to chair a little discussion if anyone wants to talk about their own experiences about veganism or anything else. But I'm really glad you came in to listen to the talk. Thanks a lot for being here, and I hope to maybe see you sometime at a future festival or an event like this. Thank you very much. If anyone's got any questions before you leave, I'm happy to try to answer as best as I can.
How long ago did you go vegan?
Vegan only about 4 years ago.
Okay. Was that really difficult?
No, it was Earthlings was the documentary I was thinking of. But I was going towards it slowly, so I was really ready for it. So I don't know if people can go overnight or anything like that, but I was already making those steps because I was already vegetarian. I was giving up milk just because I realised it didn't feel that good to drink it. Eggs, I was starting to realise they kind of smelled, I didn't like things. So I was naturally moving towards veganism anyway without realising it. And then when I saw that documentary, that was just a thing where I just went, right, I'm going to stop. But I'd always been moving gradually towards that place, so I hadn't made that change overnight. What about yourself? Were you vegan or?
No,
okay.
I am a nutrition. This one is the vegan.
Oh wow, fantastic.
We couldn't find a bit more about it, haven't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing I would say is that vegan is it's a completely safe, healthy, wonderful way, to live. There's absolutely no problems with it if you have any concerns with it, and you'll go towards it maybe in your own time, and
have you
it's
got
not
any good sort of recipes or cookbooks that would be helpful
for vegan in general.
Yeah.
There's some guys, you can go on YouTube, there's some guys called the Happy Pair, I think.
Okay.
They're two Irish guys. That's what my mum likes them. So my mum, see, that's another thing. My mum came along to the festival, and she was a complete skeptic of all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And she's gradually moved towards vegan, and she's seen when you start to really open up to veganism and learn about the health benefits of it, the ethical side of it, I think, is very powerful.
Yeah.
The health side of it is like even more powerful in some ways, because you start to realise the impact that some of these, like having meat every day, dairy every day, the impact that has on someone over a lifetime, and on certain people it has a really bad impact, and we don't see that because we don't, well, unless you're a doctor, maybe you're a nurse, you don't see how many sick people are out there, the effect that their diets had on them. That's why I want to speak about this a bit more, because there's people out there in pain, there's people out there in suffering, and I've not really went into in this talk the fact that a low-fat vegan diet can reverse heart disease, can reverse type 2 diabetes, can help is one of the best things for helping people with multiple sclerosis, arthritis, an abundance of diseases and illnesses out there. So I would always keep it in mind. I would always say that to people. They should really keep it in mind, because someday you might get to a point in your life where something comes up, someone you know gets sick, and it might be the case that it's their diet. And the medical community does not really promote diet that much. And it's not, I don't say this in a cynical or negative way, but they are linked in with various industries, pharmaceutical industry and everything else. The education they get is about treating people with, not with diet, but with pills, because most people want the simplest solution. That's the sad fact, is that most people want to go and get a pill that will take away their illness, and they don't want to change their lifestyle. And the medical industry knows that, so it serves people that. But the sad fact is there's just not enough of this information getting out there about the benefits of fasting, raw vegan diet, even just the cooked vegan diet, and the difference that can make to someone's health can be absolutely dramatic.
Sugar must have been really hard to give it, because it's just everywhere.
It's like an addiction. For me it was a total stimulant in a sense.
I was watching something the other day, and it was talking about just